There's something so captivating about bootleg toys. Seeing our favorite franchises warped and twisted in insane ways. Whether it's Stubber Wars, Special Man, or Toy Toys Story Toy 5. I can't believe I did that correctly on the first take. There is always something about knockoff toys that makes us want to come back and laugh at some more. And so we will. Hello everybody, and welcome back to Weird Products, a series where I take a look at some of the weirdest Disney Cars products out there. And today, it's time for another Weird Knockoffs episode. This is Volume 6. That's right, we have now done 6 episodes of bootleg Cars toys. The most I've covered any topic in a Weird Products by far. And I'm very excited about today's episode because we have a really great variety of insane items today. No two items today are alike. We have some weird die-cast knockoffs, remote control knockoffs, a knockoff Lego set, and quite possibly one of the single strangest things I've ever seen in the history of this series. Something that gives Lightning McQueen with arms and a cowboy hat a run for his money. And on the subject of this terrifying Lightning McQueen with arms and a cowboy hat that we took a look at in last December's episode, we're going to start off with an item that is the same type of toy, a bump and go car. This is, for whatever reason, one of the most common types of Cars knockoff toy, and just one of the most common types of knockoff vehicle toys in general, Cars franchise or not. Light up cars that drive around, play music, and change direction whenever they bump into a wall. We've covered these many times over the course of the series. Funny Car King comes to mind. But the one I want to focus on today is this clear blue Lightning McQueen. I'm not going to lie, this honestly looks pretty cool, right? And with the exception of the decals, which proudly claim World on his hood, it looks quite a bit like McQueen. I especially like the detail of having these transparent wheels with red hubcaps. As somebody who mainly collects Cars diecast, so metal Cars merchandise, I'm kinda jealous of this being a clear Cars toy. It's pretty sick. If you ignore, again, the decals, and the fact that it does just kinda look like Lightning McQueen became a Force Ghost. Now you may have noticed that I've cropped this image so that you don't see most of the box. You can just see a little bit of it at the top of the screen, and that's for good reason. That's because the box this thing comes in is by far the funniest part. You ready? Okay. The box says Hot Truck. It's the Hot Wheels logo, but it says Hot Truck. Dude, that's amazing. I don't even know why this is so funny to me, but they put the Lightning McQueen in a knockoff Hot Wheels box, and it says Hot Truck. I don't think my voice has ever gone that high while recording. This is amazing. You know, come to think of it, I'm honestly pretty surprised that this is the first time in 6 episodes of this series, and all the additional research I do while putting these together, that I've ever seen a knockoff toy put a Hot Wheels style logo on a piece of Cars merchandise. With Hot Wheels and Cars diecast being 2 of the most popular toy car brands, I'm honestly pretty surprised we haven't seen that sooner. This next item is one that honestly kinda looks okay at first glance, but it's one of those things where the longer you look at it, the more you see it fall apart. Kinda like my first marriage, am I right? Up top. Just kidding, I've never been married. But that should be pretty obvious to you, considering I make videos about toy cars on the internet for a living. The pack includes these big plastic kitty toys of McQueen and Mac, and they both look decent enough. With McQueen, that's a very obviously bootleg lightning bolt on the side. And Mac is also pretty okay. These two are also both very stylized and cartoony and cartoonishly proportioned. That's just how these toys are designed, so I think that also kinda helps them out here. But taking a closer look at the box, oh my gosh, it's incredible. The Cars logo has been replaced with Racing 3. This one doesn't just take the pre-existing Cars logo and drop other words into it. No, they redesigned major parts of this. At the bottom of the box, we have a fairly common image of McQueen used on a lot of Cars merchandise, photoshopped to absolutely no end. But not only did they change his decals and give him a souped up engine on the hood, they also changed his eyebrows, which is incredible. And of course, the best part. We're saying cars. Overcome difficulties and move forward. I know, for whatever reason, a lot of these knockoff toys have weird, poorly translated back to English taglines like that, but clearly the biggest difficulty you need to move forward from here is how to pronounce their horrendous misspelling of racing cars. This McQueen toy was posted by somebody about a year ago on the Pixar Cars subreddit, and they said they found it at a dollar store. This is a very unique case of a company clearly using a Lightning McQueen style mold and trying to pass it off as a regular race car. And maybe they could have gotten away with it too, if it weren't for his mouth still being there. Like, yeah, they changed his entire design, all the decals, they changed his color, they replaced his eyes with windows, but, I mean, that guy's still got a mouth. You gotta do something about that. And yeah, he's got that new design going on, but I have no clue what it's supposed to be. You got a bunch of cracks all over him, this logo on the hood that looks suspiciously like a banjo. I mean, it definitely isn't, but tell me that doesn't look like a banjo. And then you have this thing, which is insanely confusing to me. What is this? And why does it look like a lighter? Is this some sort of like toy gas pump that you're supposed to put into the car? Or is it some sort of launcher that plugs into him? Is it a lighter? I mean, almost definitely not, but for safety reasons, I just feel I should ask. The LEGO Speed Champions Lightning McQueen set comes out in just a couple of days, and it looks pretty good. While some of the shaping is a bit off, I think it comes together as a pretty decent looking LEGO set. You know what doesn't? This! From QS08, my favorite building brand. This speeding car racing to go set includes an absolute abomination of a mater. Why does he look like this? He looks like he just had a severe allergic reaction and is suffering serious consequences. He looks like if someone who only saw Cars once 15 years ago tried to draw Mater from memory and then they turned that into a Lego model. Why is his hood so big and why is his tow cable just two gray plates stacked on top of each other? Well, hey, at least they gave him his one functioning headlight. Yeah, somehow he has that detail of all things, although granted, the other headlight is just completely gone. This set is very clearly a knockoff of the 2017 LEGO Juniors Mater's Junkyard set. The side builds here are very dumbed down versions of the ones you get in the real set. It even includes its own version of McQueen calling Mater on his iPad. Now look, I could spend literally all day talking about how funny this knockoff set is, but the last thing I want to mention here is that somehow this has over 100 more pieces than the original set. The original set has 62, and this one has 172. Yeah, the original from LEGO was a junior set, meaning it uses some larger pieces, and just like past LEGO knockoffs we've looked at on the channel, the knockoff company doesn't have a lot of those bigger, more specialized pieces designed for these sets. Even bigger pieces that weren't designed for the Juniors line and are just regular large pieces that have been in LEGO sets for decades, like this big pillar piece holding up the Mater sign, has been replaced by several 1x2s in the knockoff set. And look at just how many pieces Mater makes up. His hood is comprised of 7 different tiles. This set is insane, and if I saw this trying to FaceTime me, I would hang up and quickly throw my phone into a fire, probably. We've got a couple of knockoff diecasts up next. This hilarious Fillmore was reported on by Take 5 a Day a little over 10 years ago. It's very clearly based on Fillmore's pit crew design from the end of the first Cars movie, complete with the headband, but it's been redone in a hilarious sort of purple color. He's got this big smiling mouth, and they actually did get some of Fillmore's side decals pretty right with that winding road and the peace writing. But I mean, last time I checked, Fillmore's Volkswagen logo wasn't replaced by the letter R in a white circle. I mean, I could check again. Oh, there it is. My bad, guys. Sorry about that. Once again, we have one of those generic knockoff diecast packs. We take a look at these all the time in the series. In fact, I'm pretty sure we've seen all of these items before. The weird cruises using her next-gen design and her original body shape. Green Finn McMissile, who for some reason is in so many of these packs and I don't know why, but you may have noticed that once again I'm hiding part of the image from you. See how at the bottom it says 6 pieces, but I've only shown you 4? Well, one of those other 2 is Jackson Storm. And the final one actually has 2 options. It seems you could either get Lightning McQueen or Lightning McQueen in the shape of Jackson Storm. Or as the box explains it, 2 style shipped randomly, or random 1 style. Thanks, that really explains the product I'm buying. You know what, not gonna lie, seeing Lightning McQueen on Jackson Storm's body is pretty cool. I should rephrase that, hold on. You know, the concept of designing a next-gen Lightning McQueen or a Rusty's next-gen in the style of Jackson Storm has been pretty popular in the Cars fandom for a long time now, and seeing a knockoff toy of this concept is pretty interesting. Although, you know, this is obviously just them taking the pre-existing decals of McQueen and slapping them onto another car that they already had. Maybe it's supposed to resemble Cars 2 McQueen? Maybe that was their plan here? Or, I mean, come on, these guys made Green Finn McMissile. I really doubt there was much thought into putting McQueen's design on this body. And now, we've reached the final item of the episode. What may very well be the most insane piece of Cars bootleg merchandise I have ever seen. You saw it on the thumbnail. Now it's time to take a deeper look. This image, posted to the Twitter account Bootleg Stuff in 2019, features... Why am I trying to talk about this normally? You see what's on this. This is absolutely insane. This is a game case that claims to be a PC DVD, says it's games for Windows, and it features Lightning McQueen from Cars, Mater with his parachute in Cars 2, the Tim Burton, Alice in Wonderland, Johnny Depp Mad Hatter, and Alice herself with a knife covered in blood. It also features some other assets from the Tim Burton Alice movie. You got the caterpillar down there, and I don't recognize this absolute freak, but he's hanging out behind Johnny Depp. So, what is going on here? Obviously, with an image this insane, I had to try to do some research. I ran it through a Google image search, and unfortunately, I couldn't find anything about it other than a bunch of other similar, crazy, Russian bootleg DVD and video game cases. Like this one, which includes images of a Minion, Shrek and Fiona, Thanos, the characters from Avatar, and Spider-Man from the PlayStation game. So then I ran this through Google Image Translate to try to figure out what it said. It translates back from Russian as Anthology of Games for Children, Part 22. Russian and English versions. Okay, so now we know it's a collection of children's games. That's debatable. And while it does answer some questions, unfortunately, I'm still left with like half a dozen more. Why were these characters in particular featured? And when did it come out? And what games are featured? I think all those questions are probably connected, right? Unfortunately, my biggest frustration with this item is we don't have a picture of the back. We don't have a list of games included. But again, this is part of a children's game anthology bootleg series, and I would assume it was probably out maybe around 2011. The most recent asset we see here is Mater from Cars 2, and the Alice in Wonderland live-action movie came out in 2010. So maybe it was capitalizing on these recent movies. Does it include games based on them? Does it include just bootleg rips, pirated versions of one of the Cars games or something? I don't think there was a Tim Burton Alice in Wonderland video game. Is that why Bloody Alice is here? I'm sure for a lot of you, myself included, one of the biggest questions here is, what's the deal with Alice covered in blood? And this is actually an image that I recognized, and you may recognize it too. This is taken straight from the cover art of the 2011 video game Alice Madness Returns, a dark, gritty, violent reimagining of Alice in Wonderland that's a sequel to the 2000 game American McGee's Alice. So yes, this image is from an Alice in Wonderland video game. So that does make quite a bit of sense, although it's very clearly not a game series designed for kids, if the image here didn't already give that away. Return to Madness released in 2011, so I think my theory holds some weight. It was a bootleg video game collection made to capitalize on some recent movies. What's in here, we still don't know. I would love to know. Oh my gosh, this is easily one of the craziest things I've ever seen a bootleg company push out. Oh, and to all my American McGee Alice fans, I am sorry to report that in 2023, EA rejected the game director's pitch for a sequel, and the game director ended up retiring from the industry after that. Thanks, EA! And there you have it, guys. This has been another batch of the weirdest pieces of Cars bootleg merchandise I could find. Let me know which of these was your favorite in the comments. Which of these did you think was the craziest? Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you guys next time with another episode of Weird Products. Bye now.